Good morning, everyone. Last week we finished with unit number one and we had our unit test. Unit one was all about dynamics of communication. So, knowing the various parts of communication, the process, etc., was what we covered in unit number one. So, from today we are starting unit number two. So, unit two is more technical in nature, and specifically, it is writing part. Right, so technical writing. Here we are assuming that you know writing. We know because you have come to semester 3, you have written exams. So how do we write things technically? So what aspects should we include technically? For your convenience, I have already uploaded a document for opening remarks, answering questions, and closing remarks in the Google Drive that it shared with you. I hope you have had a look at it. If you have not, please do have a look at it. So, technical description. Can we have the opening remarks? I suppose, have you seen the document? A yes or no would help, where everybody's name and who gives the opening remarks for which topic is also mentioned. See, if you have not seen the document for today, it can be fine, no problem. Right? Please have a look at the document in the Google Drive, Google folder that is shared with you. Right? So, for from tomorrow, we will have the opening and closing remarks regularly. See here, I'll give you a little idea of what we are going to do is you are all going to be inventors, right? Engineering means you research, you try to update what is always what has been present there, and you take it one step further. So technical description is a part of the invention that you do. What did you invent? How does it work? Things like that are a part of technical description. Let me give you a very simple example. When we buy any electronic equipment, let's say a mixer grinder, okay, so with the mixture there comes a small little booklet. Initially it used to be a huge booklet with 10-12 pages. People never read it. Now it has become a small leaflet. Instead of a booklet, it has become a leaflet. That is a small little pamphlet which shows the working of the jars. Right? I'm just giving an example of the mixer grinder. With every electronic item that you buy, there comes this little initial days, few years back, it was a booklet, a thick one. Now it has become a leaflet, may hardly a page or two. Right? That is what is one of the examples of technical description. Right? So, what is technical description? It is actually information that helps readers to visualize, or which is a stepwise guideline to the readers or to the users to use the equipment. Right? Step 1, step 2, step 3. So technical descriptions are descriptions of different objects which help the readers as well as the users to understand the working of that particular equipment. Right? It is actually a key part of any document because it describes the objects and the processes, and or right, either it's the object or the process, or the object and the process, both things together can also happen. Basically, a technical description divides a complex item or a topic into more manageable components. It defines, describes, and illustrates the entire elements contained within the whole, whether as an object, a process, or a concept. Now, there are two types of descriptions. When I say description, here you have to assume it is technical description only. Right? We are talking about specifically technical writing. That's why. So it's technical product description and technical process description. Now, what does a product description do? It describes what the product is like or the item is like. It's similar to when you do online shopping, there's a little 2 or 3 sentences given about the product. It is somewhat similar to it. It's not exactly the technical description part, but then if you see, you have a drop down menu which says more information. So it gives you a product description along with the dimension, along with the uh, features, special attachments if you are having any special equipments along with it, etc. Right? Product description is for the people who want to make a use of that particular product. Now, if you see process description, it describes how something works, the working of. Let's say we have in science subjects the working of a let's say the working of a steam engine. It's a simple thing that I'm putting up. Or maybe let's say how does a software work in the computer? The working, the process part. Okay. Let's say how does a laptop work? The first thing we need to switch the button on. So it will be booting. So using of the word which is quite technical. Right. So remember, a product description, you have to describe the product. A process description, you have to describe the process. It is basically meant for people who want to know how, right? The first one, if you see, for people who want to use the product, whereas the process description would be for people who want to know how it works. So we have our reconnecting question 1, which says dash describes what the item is like. So will it be product description or will it be process description? Very good. We have got a very quick answer from almost everybody present for the class, and you are correct. It's the product description, how the item is described, right? So product description is the correct answer. Now, elements of a good description. Please bear in mind unit number 2 and unit number 3 are very important as per the syllabus. If you see, the end semester weightage for this 2 units together is 45 percentage out of the entire syllabus. These 2 units, the technical writing and the technical communication units, they carry more weightage, right? So that's why a repetition of things are happening here. So elements of a good description. So what do you do when you are asked to write a product description? Right. So there are several elements that you have to have. Clear and limiting title. Now you see, when you are writing a description, first you have to give a title. It's a compulsory portion which you cannot avoid. Why? How do I know what are you describing? Are you describing the process? Are you describing the product? Now in the process, which process? If you say product, then which product? And I cannot simply write I am describing a computer. Right? Computer could mean many things. A computer can mean many things. Beginning from the simplest, is it a desktop or is it a laptop? That's the simple 2 confusions that could arise if I write I am describing a computer. Right? Yeah, I'm not saying, please remember, I'm not saying, I'm not asking you to take up any brand. I'm asking you to be little more specific. Instead of just saying that I am describing my technical description topic, the title is computers. So are you going to start with the laptops or the first computer or the desktop or any modern more options that are available, right? The title should be clear and limiting. What do I mean by limiting? You cannot have 2 sentences in the title. the recently launched Apple 12 phone is what I'm going to describe. No. If you see, I've given you examples. So see, they have given a description of the car BMW. BMW safety first. Now, if I write such a title, what do I mean by safety first? Is it the only car that is safe? Now, within BMW, there are so many other ranges of the cars. So, which one am I referring to? Right? So, this first title, though it is limiting, it is not that clear. So, what I can do is, if you look at the second title, how BMW's anti-lock braking system works. So, I'm talking in general about the anti-lock braking system of a particular car brand. Right? So this gives me more clarity about, okay, now they're going to talk about something which is going to be safe. Right? So the title should promise exactly what your description will deliver. It should be clear, it should be limited. Fine. If you see, there are almost only 6 to 7 words in the title. That's more than enough. A title means it should be short and clear. Right? Though, if you see, there are two examples given. Though the first title is really short, but there is little ambiguity. It is a little unclear. What are we going to talk about in the safety thing? Right? So try finding a title or try giving a title which is short yet very clear. That, okay, we are going to talk about the braking system or the brake system. We're going to talk about the airbags. If you take the example of the car, right? If you're going to talk about some software, so how is it different from the existing softwares, or some particular feature of that software which makes it different from the rest? Let's say I'm going to talk about PowerPoint. So I'll write PowerPoint, user-friendly presentation, uh, or helping you present better. So I'm going to talk about presentation skills and how to use PowerPoint in presentation skills. Something like that. Small yet very clear. So that's the first step. Whenever you are asked to write a technical description, either of a product or of a process, the very first thing should be the title. It should be clear and it should be limiting. Second, it should have appropriate level of detail. If you see, I've given two diagrams. One shows us low details, just 2, 3, 4, 5 names. The second diagram that you see has high details. First one is very low, the second one is too high. We have to find a balance, a fine balance between the two types of descriptions that are there. Right? Why a fine balance? Let's take a simple example. Have you been reading the booklets that come along with your mobile phones? Now I don't even remember the mobile phone companies giving a booklet. No. Let's say some products that you have to combine. It comes in different parts. They give you an instruction. Screw number 1 here, A4 size battery here. You need to this A3 sizes batteries here, right? So you want the readers to read. You don't want them to just keep away the booklet. Right? That is why it should have appropriate and moderate amount of information in the description part. Should not be too less, should not be too more. Right? A fine balance would is what will help you describe things better. Next, illustrate with visuals. As I said, when you buy something new, whatever it is, they'll have a diagram. A, B, C, they'll label. And then they have a short description in the leaflet that they provide, that A is equal to this part, you have this code attached here. B is equal to this part, you have to insert the floppy disk here, or you have to insert the CD drive, CD disk here, right? Something like that. Now remember, in the exam, you are not supposed to draw such complex diagrams. Do not worry. If you refer to the last year paper, they don't ask you to draw complicated diagrams. Simple things would work here. And this is a product that we have taken as an example. If you take the process, we always label things when we have the process. Right? Let's say simple example of the water cycle. So you draw a little water body, then you will show some sun, some clouds. The clouds which are in the beginning a little light colored, the clouds at the end a little dark colored. So, and you have arrows to show the process. So process one, water evaporates because of heat from the sun. Then the cloud which carries a lot of water becomes very dark and it falls down as rainfall, and that's the cycle. I'm giving a simpler example because we have done such diagrams. You have arrows marked everywhere. You'll mark that this is this thing, right? Let's say if you take an ecosystem, a small animal is eaten by a larger animal, which is eaten by a larger animal, and then that animal dies, decomposes, then goes back to the ground. So that's how the ecosystem works, right? So you have, what I'm trying to explain is not only the product. If you are asked to describe a process, a simple diagram is what is required over here. Sorry. So a simple diagram is required with a little labelings. Right? We have been doing it. It's nothing new for us, right? So you label things that this is part A, this is part B, this is part C, whatever it is. When we were younger, for the computer classes, they used to make us draw this computer, uh, a square screen and a rectangular keyboard, a little oval shaped mouse. I'm talking about the lower classes, and they'll make you label with an arrow that this is the monitor, this is the keyboard, this is the mouse, right? Mouse is an input device, etc. So when I ask you to illustrate with visuals, this is not a diagram that you are supposed to draw something with this perfection. Anything simple would do, but you have to label it properly. Let's say I cannot label a rectangular portion which is supposed to be the screen as the keyboard and the keyboard as the monitor, or the mouse as the printer, right? Appropriate diagrams which would make it look like the screen of a computer, which can make it look like the keyboard of the computer, and a mouse would look like a mouse. That is what is expected. After drawing it, you have to draw an arrow and label it. Okay, this is the mouse, right? So why visuals? We remember better with visuals. Human beings have the tendency to remember better with the visuals. And that is why, let's take examples of restaurants. We should not be taking it right at this hour, But if you take examples of good restaurants, what you will see is the ambience is quite good. Ambience means the waiting area, the chairs, the tables. Maybe they have got good paintings. One, two. When they give you the menu card is quite colorful. Beautiful diagrams on it. So you are attracted by the visuals. That is why in product description, visuals play a very important role. Why? Human beings have the tendency to be attracted by diagrams, pictures, and visuals. We remember better when there is a visual given to us. So a visual is important because it will help the people understand better. Next, appropriate and clear sequence. Please remember, in technical descriptions, you need to maintain a sequence. I cannot first start with the right click of the mouse, then go to the keyboard, then to the monitor, then to the left click of the mouse, then to the printer, then to the scroll button in the mouse. No. Right? I have to begin with the important parts and in order. So I can start with the monitor, then go to the keyboard, then go to the mouse. If I'm talking about a laptop and I have a mouse attached to it. Why? See, human beings have a nature of remaining calm and composed when things are in order. When things are in disorder, it creates a chaotic situation, and chaos causes us to forget things. We cannot remember things when things are chaotic. Let's say you just got a message or you just remembered you have a test. right? Otherwise, you are a very good student, you remember everything, but the sudden test which comes, or maybe you did not remember and your friend called, where are you? Today we have a test, you are not there in the class. Then things start becoming chaotic. You might not, for the first few minutes, you'll not recollect any question. You'll feel as if the teacher never taught this topic. Why is it there in the exam? Etc. Right? Why? Because it is chaotic. Same thing will happen if you do not have a specific and clear sequence in terms of technical description. It becomes more chaotic, and chaos helps people forget things, and we don't want them to forget the product, we want them to remember it, right? Even if you go to buy a mobile phone, we have been having an experience of buying mobile phone, everyone has it, right? What happens is, if you turn the box of the mobile phone, it has got few information there, just 5 6 things. Let's say the camera, a little detail about the camera, a little detail about the memory part. That's, let's say, 4 GB, 64 GB, 4 GB, 8 GB, 132 GB, etc. So what is that? That's the attraction part. But if you see, there's always, for every mobile phone you buy, the sequence is maintained. Important portions first, the least important at the end, right? So usually what do we see? We see the memory. How much memory can it store? How much is it expandable? Then we see the camera. Then we see certain features that we require in the mobile phone. So those are mentioned, and they are mentioned in proper sequence. So if you see, I have used a diagram of an aeroplane. You have to begin with the cockpit and then move down, or you can begin with the engine and then move up. There are two ways of doing it. But you cannot go random. First you talk about the engine, then you go to the cockpit, then you talk about the wings, then you talk about the sitting arrangement inside. You cannot go like that. Why? We as the human race have been accustomed to organization. We have been accustomed to a appropriate sequence. It is just as if you cannot give an exam for semester 1 first, then you can give the exam for semester 7, then come back for your semester 2. We cannot do like that. There is a sequence, right? 1 2 3 4 arrangements. So logical arrangements in your technical description is required. Most of the times, most of us begin the counting from 1 2 3 4 and onwards. Sometimes we can go in the reverse order as well, but most of the time it is appreciated if you begin with one and then go forward, right? So similarly, in technical description, you begin with the two ends, right? You keep end one and end two in mind. You start with one, then you go in order. So sequencing is really important. Even if you give the best of the information, and if it is not in sequence, it would be hard for the human mind to uh, recall and remember the information. So decide a sequence in a proper order, a chronological order. That's the technical term for sequencing, chronology or chronological, right? Then we talk about the function, how things work. How will it this mechanism work in the device, or the order in which the parts function, right? So as I said, you have to talk about the parts first in the order, and then how they function. The function comes as a secondary part of the description. First would come the description of the parts in sequence, then the function in sequence. As I said, chronology. Why is chronology important? Because if it is not there, it would be chaotic. And if it is chaotic, things don't work, right? Uh, let's say you cannot have a fruit first, and then you have a tree, and then you have a seed. When I'm talking about the process of how trees bear fruits, so you have to plant a seed, the seed grows into a small little plant, then it grows, matures into a tree, then it will bear flowers, flowers will bear fruits, and then you can have fruit and you can have fruit juice. That's the order in the process. I cannot have first the fruit, then I'll take out the seed, and then I'll plant. That cannot happen. That's again, if you see, it's a cyclic process. You can have it all over again, but chronology should be maintained. Similarly, here we're not going to talk about plants and fruits and things like that. What you are going to talk about is more technical mechanisms. Let's say, I'll take the example of a simple uh, equipment that we have been using, that is a mouse. A mouse could be a wired mouse or wireless mouse. Nowadays we have the wireless ones more. So in the exam you'll be asked to write a technical description of a mouse, which is an input device for any computer or laptop. So I have to first talk about the mouse and its working. So I give a little description of the mouse. I can tell that in the little introductory description, I can talk whether it's a wired or a wireless. Right. So there I mentioned that. Then I'll be talking about the parts. So where various part would be, there is a sensor, there is a scrolling button, and there are two buttons, left click, right click buttons. Then the functioning. So I begin with the left click, right click, scrolling, and the sensor. Right? That's how it works, the functioning in the chronological order. So let's reconnect. You're supposed to state whether the statement is true or false. The title should promise exactly what the description will deliver. Very good. We've got all the people saying that the statement is true. You are absolutely correct. The title should deliver what, the title should promise what the description is going to deliver. Now, what are the steps of technical description? So these are the 4 steps: naming, defining, illustrations, and visualization. So by naming, it's the most basic activity. It is how we understand the world around us. If we did not have names, you would have to say, oh, that big thing which is beside the smaller thing, please give it to me. Instead, we name it, that I want to have the laptop, not the mouse. Right? So name it properly. Whatever object you are going to describe or whatever process you are going to describe, you are supposed to name it properly. Then definition. Every object would have a definition to it, or it could be an introductory paragraph. You introduce in your own words with little general information about the content that will follow. As I said, when I talk about a mouse with reference to computer, please understand we're talking about an electronic device, right? So when I talk about the mouse, I'll be talking about the little information that I have. So mouse is an input device. Nowadays we have the mouse. If you take modern laptops, you don't have to buy a mouse for yourself. There's a touchpad given to us, and within the touchpad you have mouse. The function remains the same. So today I'll be talking about the mouse that is with the laptop, within the laptop, or maybe I'm going to talk about the wired mouse or the unwired one. Whatever you are going to talk about, that's the little introductory about what you are going to be describing in your technical description. See, by definition, I mean we might not have the full definition of things, but a little example, a little introduction to what you are going to describe in a few paragraphs. Why have we mentioned here pages? In some cases, as I said, initially when we used to buy electronic items, we used to have this thick booklets. They'll explain everything in the booklet. Nobody of us has hardly read the whole thing. We'll just read what is important to us. We'll just skim the booklet. By scheming, I mean it's a type of reading that we do just to get important information. That's it. A, B, C, that's it. And that's how we scheme. Right? Visuals and diagrams, as I said, if you have diagrams, it becomes very easy for people to understand. And it makes you don't have to go and explain it to everybody. They look at the diagram and they can explain. The diagram should be self-explanatory, step 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever steps they are. And then a description. Here you would describe the object stepwise, where you'll talk about how the object functions or what are the different variations that you have found in the object, etc. Illustrations. By illustrations, we mean a picture. We have a saying that says that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but sometimes it's not only the picture that will help. Picture cannot replace words in any way. So when some students or some of us have a doubt, madam, what if I draw a diagram? That's enough? No, you cannot just draw a diagram and leave it there as it is. After drawing the diagram, you need to explain. So a paragraph or so will do, right? A technical writer would use things to his advantage. Let's take the example of coriander. Coriander is one of the ingredients that we use in food. It is used mostly for garnishing. You cannot have coriander on your own. There is an empty bowl and your mother puts a few sticks of coriander and she'll say, okay, this is what we have for lunch. It's similar to what just putting a diagram and not writing anything. Right? Let's say even somebody who couldn't argue with me, madam, we have coriander soup, lemon coriander soup, but you have salt, you have water. You just cannot have a few leaves and sticks of coriander and you say this is your lunch, this is the appetizer. Right? Similarly, in technical description, you cannot just put a diagram and see picture speaks a madam 1,000 words. No words required when I draw, after I draw a diagram. You cannot do that. It is just there to give additional value to your writing. Pictures, graphics, or diagrams, they are just there to give additional value to your writing. You cannot replace your writing only with graphics. Yes, diagrams do carry marks in the examination, but they just carry a few. The rest would depend on how you write, whatever information you have written. So you draw a diagram which will help you remember to do the technical description better. Now, sometimes if I don't have the diagram or the visual in front of me, I might forget a step. I might forget an important function. But if I have a diagram, I can visualize, okay, I'm talking about a mouse. So I should be writing about the left click. I should be writing about the right click. What about the scrolling button? I should be writing about that as well. This, my mouse has, when I hover my mouse, under the mouse, there is this red light. What is it? So it's the sensor, right? Etc. So remember, graphics alone don't do. They are additional value adders to your written work. So you do have to write, but when you draw it, it gives additional importance to what you have written. In the process description, you have to describe the process. Now, how do I do it over here? So first, I have to write little introduction here as well. Let's say I am taking the process of how a computer is started, how you switch on a computer, right? If I just switch the power button, does it start? No, it's booting. That's the technical word you use for a computer starting. You have to, it will have a little processing. It will take a few minutes before you can see the screen. Then you can click on it. You have a password which you have maintained, and then you click the password, and then your Windows screen opens if you have Windows. If you have other operating systems, then the other operating system window opens, right? So that's the process. In the process also, you can talk about a little introduction. Which process are we going to talk about? Uh, where is this process happening? Let's say I'm talking about something in nature. So it's a natural setup. This is what you can call. Uh, if it's a man-made or mechanical, you can say that when the computer starts, this is how it works. Or maybe, let's say, when the laptop starts, this is what happens inside. Technical descriptions are basically written to people who are written for people who can under or whom we want to understand that this is how technology works. Most of the time, technical descriptions are for people who are not in a way related very closely to that technology. Let's say for a person like me, I do not know what happens. When I switch on the power button in my laptop, there's a white light which shows, okay, the power button, you have switched it on correctly. Now the screen is a little blank for a few minutes. It's all blank, and then suddenly lights start coming, and suddenly you have a picture that comes, right? For me, something is happening. But for a person like students of computer engineering or IT engineering, there is some process which is going on, right? So that's why we have words called, or we have technical words, which is one of the word which I understand is called booting. The computer boots or it starts. It starts again, so it reboots. Because I'm a language teacher, I know re means again, boots means starting in case of computers, not the boots that we wear, right? So when you are describing a process, again you have to give a little introductory, name the process, tell about the different parts of the process, then draw a diagram, label it, and then explain the process, right? So even in the process description, the order remains the same. You cannot change the order any case you want to. It is like a narrative. Let me tell you, the length of a technical description should not be A4 size papers. Please consider those here. Not more than 1.5 page with the diagram. And it's similar to the back cover of a storybook that you read. If you are reading books, if you are not reading, that also it's fine. You must be having a few reference books from your previous year if you have not bought this year's books. So if you turn the book, that's called the back cover, there you have a little description. What is the book all about? That's also a technical description. It gives you a little idea about the writer who has written the book, the author, or the authors if they are more than one. So that's also a kind of technical description. It describes the book or the reference book that you are using, the textbook that you are using, etc. Right? Little details that you see there. Is the statement true or false? The first step of technical description is defining the object and processes that are being described. This is a little tricky one, but I know you'll get it right. The unity in the class is absolutely admirable. Everybody is writing that the answer is true, but I regret to tell you it is not so. Oh, we have got one person, Ramesh, and then we have got Suchi saying that it's false, and you two are absolutely correct. And Gaurav has also given a false over here. Please remember, as I said, the first step is not the definition. The first step is naming the object. Remember, I said you have to name it. I've given there a very simple example about a computer. I cannot write that I'm going to define a computer. I have to tell what. Is it a desktop? Is it a laptop? It is a palm top, iPad, iPod, Kindle, tablet, right? Different forms. Naming is the first step of technical description. Let me take you back to that slide. The title, that is the name. Right? I hope this is making things clear. So this is what technical sorry technical description is all about. Do we have any doubts? Yes, Aditi has given the answer, naming. Right. So in technical description, very good. So in technical description, remember why I've been repeating things more number of time. It carries a lot of weightage with regard to the exam. Unit 2 and 3 total weightage is 45 percentage, right? So out of 100, 45 marks things are asked from these two units. Now understand that it is technical description. So we'll not be asking you only the theory, or maybe at times would be just a small 3-mark question for the theory part, but 100% they will ask 4 and 7-mark questions for the practical part. Let me give you an example from what we had in the last year's paper. See, so they have given last year, it was a 4-mark question that was asked, which says prepare technical description of any one tool, mechanism, or a piece of equipment with useful information and a clear diagram. So this is how they may ask the question. Here, they have not specified the mechanism, but sometimes they may specify the mechanism, right? Let's say there are certain topics and subjects that are, or certain mechanisms, processes, or equipments that are common to all engineering branches. This course is offered across all engineering branches. So they might be specific about a mechanism or an equipment that is common to everybody. Everybody in the sense, every engineering branch. That could be one way, and this is the other way in which they asked the question last time in the last year's winter 2019 paper. Right. So now, as we don't have any doubts or question answers, it's time for our quiz. So here is the link to today's quiz. You can start attempting your quiz. My, we have got the speed of a bullet train in this class, 15 responses already. That's so nice. And almost people doing and scoring good. Very well done on that part. 45 responses have already been submitted. So we'll wait a few minutes for the remaining students to submit it. Excellent. I think somebody has submitted the response twice, I suppose. If you have done so, don't worry. We'll consider only one because I can see 55 responses, whereas the people joining are 53 in the class. We have only 54 people. There's some mathematical error. I'll resolve that. Right. Now, what is your task? Madam has taught, we have taken the quiz. Quiz is there so that we remember the technical parts or the theory parts. What you need to do is you need to write the technical description of any product, mechanism, equipment, or any process and submit it in the Google folder by Saturday, the 18th of July, 2020. Say within your class folder, now you can see or you'll be able to see there is a subfolder called technical description. By today evening, I'll also upload a sample of the same. You can also see an Excel sheet where you have your name. So you can just, by today, you can just write down which mechanism or process you are selecting for your technical description. And by Saturday, in the same folder with your name, a Google document should be submitted. Right? I understand when we are doing it online, you cannot draw the diagram, but you can pick up a diagram. I'm saying you can pick up the diagram, not the description. You can pick up the diagram from internet. That this is what, if asked in his exam, this is what I will draw. Right? I can draw. Please do not take up complex diagrams just for the sake of showing that you have taken up a complex topic. Understand quality matters, not quantity. We will be viewing this mini assignment in terms of quality and not in terms of the quantity that you can dump from the internet. I request you to write it because once we write it, or once we practice it, when we practice things, we become better at it, right? And this is a little more practical aspect of the theory that we have learned today. And this is one way of having practicing the theory into more practical manners. I have written a few products which you can choose from, or but it is not limited to that few. Those few are examples, right? As I said, it could be any process as well. I have not mentioned the processes because I want you to be at the liberty of selecting the process, right? It can be a product, it could be a mechanism, it could be any equipment, or it could be any process, right? You have to submit a Google Doc in the folder, in the subfolder. If you after the class, you can go and have a look at it. There is a within your class folder, now you can view a subfolder which says technical description, and within the folder I've got a spreadsheet where I've got your names. You just need to write down which product you are going to describe technically. Fine. So you need to just write it down right now. Today, by the end of the day, 4:30, you'll find a sample of what is required from you. And then you can submit a similar a similar Google document there by Saturday. By Saturday, I mean your time would be till Saturday, 4:30 p.m. After that, I will not be accepting anybody's assignment over there, right? So a small technical description to be written on any equipment of your choice. I hope I'm making myself clear. In case you have a doubt, you can always ask. I hope I'm clear about the instruction of this technical description. Do not worry, I'll be posting the same instruction in the group. So now I suppose we don't have a doubt, so I'll take the attendance now. Enrollment number 2, 5, 8, enrollment number 8, yeah, okay. 9, 10,
Yes, ma'am.
12, 16, 17, 19, 24, 25,
Yes, ma'am.
26, 29, 31, 34, 35, 38, 44, 46, 47, 49, 50, 51, 53, 54, 56, 58, 65, 7, 68, 69, 22, 73, 82, 85, 89, 91, 96, 100, 101, 102, 103, 106, 108, 106 and 108, 117, 118,
Yes, ma'am.
119,
Yes, ma'am.
120, 121, 125, 125, Kunj, 126, 131, 134, 144. Absent numbers are 125. Kunj, is he there? Has left the meeting, I can see, so he must have been there. And 106, Nesargi. Is she there? And so for the absent numbers, I can see it's 106. Nesargi is the only one who's absent for today. So kindly check the Google folder that has been shared. You will find a list of your name, and please check for the opening and closing remarks. There's an Excel sheet already been shared for tomorrow. Please look into it. If you wish, I'll tell you who is doing the opening and closing remarks for tomorrow. So opening remarks would be done by enrollment number 16. And the closing remarks would be done by rule number 126. Right. As of now, I'm telling for tomorrow. You can check when is your turn, and also check the technical description folder. By the afternoon, like by evening today 4:30, I'll upload a sample of the technical description. By sample, I mean this is what is expected, not exactly the same, but the line of order which is expected from you. Right? Thank you, class. Have a nice day.